In this video, I want to give you 5 tips to help you elevate your headshot photography in 2025. So let's jump right into it. Tip number 1, lean into AI. Now I know some people are for AI, some people are against AI, but regardless of how you feel about it as a whole, when it comes to editing, the AI tools are extremely powerful and they really help to cut down your editing time. And by cutting down that time, that's giving you more time to do other things to help you make money. So, we have tools like Evoto and Retouch for me, and even Lightroom and Photoshop, and I think even Capture One. They all have implemented tools to really help with your editing, and they can perform tasks that used to take you minutes. It can do it in a matter of seconds. So really lean into that. But at the same time, make sure that you don't go overboard. Now in 2025, that perfect skin, overly retouched look really is out, and now people are preferring more natural looking headshots and portraits. So the AI tools, although they're great, they're also very easy for you to go past the realm of what looks natural. So make sure you use it with a soft hand, but definitely lean into AI. Tip number 2, shoot for multi-platform versatility. Now, there was a time when you did headshots, you always shot them vertical. That was just the norm. That's what you did. You really didn't think about it. In 2025, my recommendation is to always shoot your headshots horizontally. And I say that with an asterisk because sometimes it might make sense to do vertical, but for the most part, you want to shoot your headshots horizontally because that gives you the flexibility to be able to crop that however you want in post. Although social media and vertical format is very big right now, people that get headshots still have a need for a horizontal headshot, and so you want to give them the ability to be able to do that without having to use the AI tools that I just mentioned to expand the background and all of that sort of thing. So shoot horizontal. Cameras these days have a lot of megapixels, so you could easily crop that vertical out of it, and now you're able to deliver a horizontal shot and a vertical shot to your client, and so they're going to appreciate that, and it just makes it look like you really are a professional, you know what you're doing. Now, in saying that, when you shoot horizontal, you want to make sure that you shoot wide enough that you can get that vertical, the entire headshot and shoulders, depending upon how, if you have the shoulders, you want to make sure that it's wide enough that you can do a 2x3 crop vertical and still have the shoulders. So don't shoot too tight. You really want to err on the side of shooting wider than you need, and then you have all the room and flexibility you need to be able to crop that however you want at any point in time. Now, there may be some headshot photographers that disagree with me on this or would want to argue this point, but tip number 3 is don't fall into the trap of just using one lighting setup. Now, I know when it comes to headshot photography, it is easy in terms of workflow to always do your headshots the same and always have the same lighting. But the problem with that is that one lighting setup does not work for everybody. Now, as you can see, I have this setup right here, this lighting me. This would be considered beauty lighting because it's going to, for the most part, fill in all of the shadows, and that's great for, say, a 50-year-old female. But if you had, a 25-year-old strong muscular guy, doing beauty lighting on him is not really going to be what he wants, or depending upon what they're going to use the headshots for, a beauty light look may not make sense. And so if you're doing headshot photography and you always do it exactly the same, you get consistency and it is easy, but I think you're not serving your clients the way that you really should. So when it comes to lighting, the first thing you need to do is be talking to your client and saying, how are you going to use the headshots? Where are you going to use the headshots? What do you want the headshots to say? What mood do you have? Do you want the mood of your headshot to match your company or your brand? All of these questions need to be asked, and then that really will dictate the lighting that you have, okay? And then looking at your subject, are they an older person, a younger person? Do they have wrinkles? Do they have blemishes? All of these things need to be taken into account, and then figure out your lighting from there. Ask those questions, understand what your client is looking for, because at the end of the day, what they want is the most important thing. Understand what your client is looking for, and then build your light setup around that. Now, speaking of lighting, this video is sponsored by Suncrafter. Now, they sent me these tube lights to test out. These are their TL30 tube lights. These are a 1-foot tube light. The light itself is actually 9 inches, just to put that into perspective. But as you can see, these lights are a great option to have for doing headshots because, of course, they're battery powered. You don't see any cords here, so they're battery powered. They have a decent amount of light when you're in a situation that's not overly bright. So right now I'm shooting during the day. It is daylight, there is light coming into the space, but I'm not outdoors. These are not going to be powerful enough to do outdoors. But if you're in a space where, you know, you have normal lighting during the day or low light definitely at nighttime, these are a great option to have versatility and easy portability, easy setup. They're quick, you can move them around, they're lightweight. You don't have to worry about, you know, putting them on, you know, stands and sandbags and all of that. Although, let me not say that, because you always want to be safe, okay? There's nothing wrong with using sandbags, even if you don't think you need them. Got to be safe, okay? Don't want anything falling on your client. But these are 10-watt lights. They're 10-watt tube lights. They are bi-color. They are also RGB as well. So if you want to add in some color into your setup, you can do that. They can be controlled by an app. I would show you the app, but I got to keep it real. I don't like downloading apps. I don't like putting apps on my phone. So I probably will never use the app, but it does have an app. I have seen it work. It is pretty cool. It works very well. There's also, of course, the lighting effects in here as well, which, you know, they're your typical lighting effects that you have when you have LED lights like this. Now, what I do like about their lighting effects is that they do have a lot of customization for each one. So you can change the intensity or the duration or how quick they flash, that sort of thing. So really cool. So if you're interested in these lights, I'm gonna have a link down to them below. So thank you for Suncrafter for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to the tips. Now, this is something that you may not have thought about or heard before, but tip number 4 is offer stills and motion. And so by motion, I'm talking about GIFs. And for the record, it is GIF, okay, and not GIF. The creator of GIF says that that is the pronunciation, okay? So stop saying GIF, it's GIF, like the peanut butter. Okay, so offer stills and GIFs. It really is just something that gives your client something different, right? We live in a world where stills are cool, but video really is king. So when it comes to the uses of headshots, a lot of times you can't just use video, but in most spots where you can upload a still, you can also upload a GIF. So it gives you the ability to have motion in your headshot in basically a picture format. So really lean into doing your stills and doing your GIFs. Now, when it comes to that motion, it really could be, you know, whatever you want. When I tend to do it, it usually is, you know, I'm just having the client kind of turn and face the camera, maybe cross their arms, you know, if it's a guy, something like that. So it depends on the client. I change it up all the time, but it really is something that you can add in that just sets you apart from everyone else, and it gives your client something to also set them apart as well. And in this day and age, anything that you can do to help set yourself apart from the masses is a win. And so definitely consider implementing that into your headshot workflow. And tip number 5, make accessibility a part of your workflow. Now, this is probably something that a lot of people don't think about, but in 2025, it's something that is very important, and it is something that people that need this will really notice and take heed of that. So when I'm talking about accessibility, I'm talking about things like making your setup wheelchair accessible. Right now, this setup is not wheelchair accessible. You couldn't get a wheelchair in here very easily. But when you're on location, things like having it wheelchair accessible, having a quiet workflow for people who loud noises and things like that is difficult for them. Thinking about the things that make people uncomfortable or nervous, trying to find ways to accommodate those people and make them feel included will go a long way in, I don't want to say satisfying the client, but it will make them look at you in a way that you never would have thought of. And at the end of the day, when we are working with clients, the one thing that we really want is for those clients to have such a good experience that they recommend us to other people. We want a marketing team of clients that is out there marketing for us. And the way that we do that is by giving our clients an experience that makes them feel included, that makes them feel comfortable, makes them feel seen and heard, and at the end of the day delivers the product that they're looking for. And so we want to make sure in 2025, and this isn't about, you know, being woke or anything of the sort, it really is about thinking about people that are outside of what we consider to be normal, And I say that in the most respectful way possible, but going outside of what we think is normal and thinking about people and things that they may be experiencing, and how can we make our process comfortable and inclusive for them. It really will go a long way for these people, and at the end of the day, they will be some of your biggest cheerleaders.